Court is now in session. The defense may proceed in their case.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I urge you to maintain your objectivity and resist drawing any conclusions until you have heard my client's case. Michael Fong is not a murderer. He is a young man who happened onto a bad situation. Michael and his friends went to Hal's Bar at around 9 o'clock Friday evening, January 24th, to play a friendly game of pool. Shortly after they entered this establishment, Tommy Wu, the so-called victim in this scenario, pulled out a gun and encouraged them to leave. They did. They got dinner and returned around 11:30 to try again. You will hear the testimony of a young man named Alex Shue, who was in the bar when the unfortunate accident ensued. The evidence will show that the victim pulled a gun on my client a second time. And in fear for his life, my client lunged for the weapon. Several others in the bar, realizing that Michael Fong was in danger, then rushed to his aid. As the struggle to disarm Mr. Wu ensued, the gun accidentally went off, causing his death. Listen carefully to the evidence, and you will conclude that this conflict was not instigated by my client, and that he behaved strictly in self-defense. You will come to agree that he has been falsely accused of the crime of murder. At this time, I call Alex Shue to the stand.
Very well. Proceed.
Please tell this court what you were doing on the evening of January 24th, which proves my client's innocence.
Objection. Leading the witness.
Objection sustained. Please rephrase the question.
Please tell this court what you were doing on the evening of January 24th.
Well, I was over at Hal's, and I noticed this pretty girl playing pool. But she was with her boyfriend, so I didn't try talking to her or anything. Then all of a sudden, her boyfriend pulls out this gun. And I start to think, you know, this guy's gonna shoot me just because I'm looking at his girl, but as it turns out, he was after some other guy.
What did my client do at that point?
Well, he tried to get the gun out of the guy's hand, and as they were fighting for it, the gun went off and shot the guy in the head, just like in that cartoon you showed me in your office.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that he has just authenticated the wireframe animation?
Yes, the record may so reflect.
Did you see my client do anything to provoke the attack from Tommy Wu?
No. No, he was just playing pool, minding his own business.
Thank you. No more questions.
Counselor, you may cross-examine the witness.
Do you know Michael Fong personally?
No.
Are you now or have you ever been a member of any associations with the defendant?
No.
How far were you from the victim's girlfriend at the time the shot was fired?
I was right next to her.
Do you see that girl in this courtroom?
Let me see. Yeah. That's her right over there.
Will you please stand up? Are you positive this is the person you saw?
Well, I didn't have my glasses on at the time, and I can't see very well without them.
Did you or did you not see this woman with Tommy Wu?
Look, I don't know, okay? I can't remember. I mean, it's been a few months, you know, and I was drinking that night, and...
You weren't even there that night, were you, Mr. Shue? Your entire testimony is a fabrication created by the defense counsel.
Objection, no foundation. Slanderous. Unethical.
Objection sustained. Knock it off, Counselor.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Nothing further. No more questions, Your Honor.
You may step down. Mr. Blaine?
All right, look, this guy just got his head handed to him on a platter. None of your buddies are willing to testify, and you are not telling us everything you know. Now, you got any suggestions, or do you want me to go ahead and argue the case?
No, hell no. You gotta put me up on the stand.
Well, I think you are making a mistake, Michael, but it is your call. Just keep it simple and address the jury when you answer, all right?
Yeah.
Your Honor, at this time, I would like to call Michael Fong to the stand.
Very well. Proceed.
Mr. Fong, where were you on the evening of January 24th?
Well, I was sitting around my house just watching TV, and a few of my friends stopped over and asked if I felt like shooting some pool. And I said, sure, you know, why not? So we went over to Hal's bar. Anyways, we're there for a little bit, and we're just hanging out, waiting for a table. And all of a sudden, this guy pulls a gun on me. I don't know, maybe he thought I was watching his girlfriend or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe he thought I was looking at him. Anyways, me and my friends, we left. We figured we'd come back when maybe this maniac be gone by then.
And you didn't do anything to provoke violence, did you?
Objection leading.
Objection sustained.
What happened next?
Well, we left the bar, and we went to get something to eat over the Fat Burgers. And then we went back to Hal's. Now, I didn't see him at first, you know, so I figured, you know, everything was cool. And then I hear something behind me. I turn around, and there's Tommy Wu coming after me. And he's got his gun out again. You know, I'm thinking he's probably going to use it this time. So I tried to get the gun away from him, and next thing I know, it goes off, and he gets shot in the face. I figured he was dead, so I just got out of there as quick as I could. I didn't know what else to do. But I swear on my mother, it was an accident. I didn't mean to hurt nobody.
Thank you, Mr. Fong. No further questions.
Counselor, you may cross-examine the witness.
Why do you have a tattoo of a rat, the symbol of the Chu Sing gang, on your hand?
Look, I don't know where you guys get this idea of a gang symbol stuff. I got this tattoo because of my daughter. Year of the rat, that's the year she was born. It's just a symbol of her birth, that's all.
At what point in your struggle over the gun did you manage to kick Tommy Wu repeatedly with your boots?
Look, I told you he was trying to kill me. I might have kicked him a few times, trying to protect myself. It's just something I don't remember doing.
No more questions, Your Honor.
You may step down. Mr. Blaine?
Well, at this time, Your Honor, I rest my case.
At this time, the court is adjourned until tomorrow, at which time we will proceed with the people's rebuttal. Counselor, please approach the bench. Excellent cross, Counselor. And judging by his reaction, I think the defense would agree with me.
This kid, this Michael Fong, is coming off like some Mandarin choir boy and the jury's buying. You better keep digging.
Hello, counselor. I'm starting to have nightmares about these Chinese gangbangers.
Once again, I jotted down some ideas, my 2 cents worth. Did you look it over and see what you want to do? I don't have time to run down all of these, but if you tell me which 3 you think take top priority, I'll take care of it. I'm out of here. Let me see if any of these pan out, and I'll meet you back at court tomorrow. Alrighty, here's what I got. Let's take a listen. I went down to Hal's bar with Christina Travis. We scoured the whole place and found a bullet, not in the ceiling, but lodged in the leg of a pool table. I don't know how the detectives missed it the first time. They must have assumed it was still in the poor guy's head. Well, anyway, Christina Travis is working on matching it up to the weapon. I'll get her to court in the morning to testify. Turns out Alex Shue is a member of the Chu Sing, same as Michael Fong. So what we've been told is right, that all those guys have rat tattoos. We can subpoena him for rebuttal and expose him in front of the jury. I found a way to legally get Fong's confession. Recall Detective Gonzalez and ask him what was said to him in the squad car. All right, well, kick ass.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Lawrence Adams presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, the court will now come to order. Prosecution may now present their rebuttal or give their closing statement.
At this time, the people call Detective Gonzalez to the stand.
You may proceed.
Detective Gonzalez, please tell the court what happened in your squad car as you took Mr. Fong to the police station following his arrest.
Objection. The statements made by my client in the squad car are not admissible because his Miranda rights were not read to him.
Counselors, I'd like to see you at sidebar. What's your legal response?
Your Honor, the statement should now be admissible. According to Harris v. New York, a statement obtained in violation of Miranda rules may still be used against the defendant for impeachment purposes. In this case, Michael Fong took the stand and told a story that contradicts the one he told to Detective Gonzalez. The statement should now be admitted to keep the defendant from perpetrating fraud on the court by lying.
Mr. Blaine, your objection is overruled. The witness may answer the question.
Michael Fong said to me, "Yeah, my boys held him down, and I capped him in the head. I ain't sorry I did it either."
No more questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Blaine?
I have no questions at this time, Your Honor.
You may step down.
The people now call Alex Shue to the stand.
You may proceed.
Your Honor, based on information I received from Detective Gonzalez, I would ask the court to please order the witness to remove his shirt and show any tattoos that he has.
What are you, nuts? I don't have to take off my shirt for nobody. You guys can't make me.
That's where you're wrong, Mr. Shue. Now, either you take off your shirt or I'll hold you in contempt.
You lied when you said you had no prior association with the defendant, didn't you?
Okay, so maybe I've seen him around. What the hell does that prove?
No more questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Blaine?
I have no questions at this time, Your Honor.
You may step down.
At this time, Your Honor, the people call Christina Travis to the stand.
You may proceed.
Miss Travis, did you perform a ballistics analysis on this bullet jacket?
Yes, I did. I returned to the crime scene and I did a more thorough search for fragments, during which time I noticed there was a small scratch on the floor, which could have been a ricochet mark. And I noticed a slit in the leg of the pool table. I found a bullet jacket lodged inside the table leg, and I compared it to a test bullet fired from the gun that was found at the bar on the night of the murder. Now, a bullet always gets scraped up by the barrel as it leaves the barrel, as it passes through. And every barrel will mark up a bullet with a unique pattern of grooves, which we call striations. Now, the striations found on the bullets when the two of them were matched up indicates that the bullet jacket in the table leg was a part of the bullet jacket that killed Tommy Wu.
Miss Travis, have you ever seen this pool table leg before?
Oh, yes. That's the leg we had removed from the pool table where I spotted the lodged bullet.
Is the bullet path in the table leg consistent with the theory that the bullet was fired toward the floor from a standing position, and that it ricocheted off of the floor and lodged itself into the table leg on its way up towards the ceiling?
Oh, yes, most definitely. The floor in that place is solid concrete. And if the bullet was fired from a standing position, it would have had to ricochet unless it hit the floor at a 90-degree angle.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Miss Travis, I would like you to take a look at this simulation of the events that took place at Hal's Bar on January 24th. In your expert opinion, is the bullet path you analyzed in the pool table leg consistent with the scenario you just saw?
Not even remotely. First of all, the ceiling was covered with an acoustic tiling, a soundproofing material. It would never have ricocheted that bullet, it would have absorbed it. Secondly, the angle of the bullet path is clearly moving up toward the ceiling and not down toward the floor. It starts here and stops 4 inches up in the wooden table leg. You're really reaching on that one, Mr. Blaine.
Ms. Travis, please restrict your comments to answering the questions as they are put to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
No further questions.
You may step down.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have heard the people's case against the defendant. Michael Fong. You have heard the testimony of Alan Brody, an actual eyewitness who saw the Chu Sing gang member enter House Bar carrying a piece of steel cable. Given the fact the gang entered House Bar armed on that evening of January 24th is proof that they went there with the intent to do bodily harm. As you now know, the law clearly states that the acts of one member of a conspiracy are admissible against all the others. As a member of this conspiracy, Michael Fong is guilty of premeditated murder. You have seen scientific evidence that the wounds on the victim's leg were made by a boot that is consistent with those the defendant wore when he was arrested. The defendant is vague and unspecific in his description of the events of that night. It is clear that there is no truth to his claim of self-defense. You have seen evidence that Alex Shue, the alibi witness presented by the defense as an innocent and objective bystander, was in fact a member of the same gang as the defendant, and this after swearing he had never met the defendant before in his life. You have heard Christina Travis testify that Michael Fong's self-defense story is inconsistent with her crime scene discovery of the bullet's path in the leg of the pool table. Ladies and gentlemen, after you have carefully examined the evidence, I am certain that you will find Michael Fong guilty of the charge of first-degree murder.
Mr. Blaine?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the burden of proof has clearly not been met in this case. The statements made by my client in the squad car were made in a moment of extreme duress. He had been abused and harassed, and therefore these statements cannot be taken as an indication of the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, the only thing my client is guilty of is being in the wrong place at the wrong time. This is a clear-cut case of self-defense. I am confident you will find my client not guilty of this crime.
At this time, the jury may retire to deliberate. Court is adjourned until it returns with its decision.
The way Blaine kept badgering that witness, the prosecution had no choice but to object.
I didn't see enough evidence that the crime took place the way the prosecution said it did.
I haven't seen this many tests since grade school, but I'll tell you, it really did help support its case.
I like the way the prosecution kept those questions coming. He never let up.
I liked watching the prosecution ram those legal citations down the defense's throat.
I haven't seen enough evidence that links the defendant to the crime.
You gotta hand it to the prosecution. Those witnesses all seem to support his case.
Each piece of evidence really helped me understand what happened.
Hey, I just got word the jury reached a verdict, so why don't we go back to the courtroom and see if you pushed all the right buttons.
Ladies and gentlemen, a verdict has been reached. Will the defendant please rise? Ladies and gentlemen, the jury finds the defendant, Michael Fong, guilty of the charge of first-degree murder.
It's going to be okay. Because
Well, kid, you gave me exactly what I requested from the start. 3 convictions for 3 cases. As a result, I'm bumping you up to assistant DA. Promotion where you earn a salary increase as well as the grudging respect of every young prosecutor in the county. That shouldn't bother you. I told you from the get-go this ain't a popularity contest. Not yet, anyway. There'll come a time when voters will be a consideration, but politics is a whole other nightmare. Better we worry about that later and enjoy the moment for what it is. Congratulations, kid.